Hi there, I'm Ludwig and this is SQL Bootcamp Online, the 2-minute SQL series where I am addressing the most common questions and issues regarding SQL Server and Azure. Now, even though this 2-minute SQL series, in the previous episode, one of the previous episodes of this channel, we talked about how to become a BOFH, so the bastard operator from hell, where I showed you how you can create a query that would look like select from or select from. That would be a proper and genuine query that would really mess with the heads of your colleagues. So make sure that you subscribe to this channel and watch that video as well. So since many of you really like that video, based on the number of views and the likes below that video, again, like is something that would just let YouTube spread this video even further, and I would really appreciate. What I want to show you today in the same spirit is how to create or whether I can create a database that would not have a name, or it would look just like that, and then on top of that, whether I could use, let's say, a skull as a name of my table. Well, let's take a look. Again, this is live, therefore there is no cuts, no post-production whatsoever. Everything that you will be seeing in here will happen as if you were looking over my shoulder. So again, as you can see right now, I'm connected in here to the master database. But then if I'll go in my SSMS into the list of all of the available databases, you will see that at the very top, I do have a database that doesn't have, or seemingly doesn't have, any name. So let me just drop that database first. Boom. You see that the object name will be like this. I want to close all of the existing connections. Don't forget about selecting that option, hitting OK, and ta-dam, the query worked perfectly fine. The database is not here. So what I want to do right now is I want to create a database. As you know, after create database query, what I need to do is I need to provide it with a name. Now, in another video on this channel, I showed you that and proved why this is so important, that you always enclose the names of your objects in the square brackets, right? And this is one of those cases, because if I wanted to just say, hey, create a database, and just maybe I'll just put an additional space in here and hit execute, ta-dam, I would get information that, hey, the connection is broken, recovery is not possible, I cannot do anything in here. So let me just reconnect to this server real quick. Boom, let me just start over. Ta-dam, connect. Oh, I'm already connected, so let me just run a new query from here. Yep, that would be better because right now I am connected. I closed my connection. The reason why I had that error, since you are here to learn more, the reason why I've seen this error in here was because I closed the connection to the database that I was working on. Therefore, my connection was indeed closed and I couldn't recover that connection. I couldn't reconnect that same window in there. So right now I opened a new query. I do have a new connection here. So what I want to do is I want to create a database. Now, if I'm performing any kind of work like that, I should always be connected to the master database, because that's where our database are being created. So that's where the information about those newly created database will be added. So what I want to do right now is I want to say, press some space in here and create a database like that. I will get the information that there's an incorrect syntax. Even though I wanted to name my database as a space, just like that, I will not be able to do so. But I will be able to do so if I will enclose that space in the square brackets, because as you may remember from that previous video of mine, is that whenever you're enclosing any kind of text in the square brackets, SQL Server will treat that text as a name of the object, all right? So if I'll do it like this, and if I'll run this query, ta-dam, this will work perfectly fine. And then if I'll expand all of my databases, I will see a database with a space in its name. Now, every single time someone wants to change the database context to that database, what they'll need to do is, what do they need to use? Well, they will be forced to use the space in the name in here in order to go and switch the context to the database. Now, again, think about how you can mess with the heads of your colleagues and coworkers if this will be what they'll be seeing in that list. Now, we have multiple options in there, so don't forget to subscribe to that channel to stay in touch or up to date with all of those videos. But I want to take it one level further. I want to take an Unicode symbol in here. Let me just copy this little skull that you're seeing in here. And maybe I may want to create a database that will have exactly that name. So what I need to do in here, boom, again, I just need to enclose it in the square brackets. Ta-dam! Refresh the list of the databases, and I do see a school in here as well. So this is pretty handy. Then on top of that, you can use any of those emojis that you like, even if you were to create a table or table objects, right? Or functions or store procedures or whatever, right? Let me just create table in the DBO schema, and the name of that table will be indeed, boom, the skull. Now, create table, and I'll just have the ID column, which will be integer, not null, just like that, nothing more. Hit create, ta-da. Now, if I'll expand my empty database, again, please remember that when I was running this query, I was connected indeed to the empty named database or space named database. I do have a school named table in here, right? So again, you can use any of the Unicode characters if you want to, but you need to learn to use your square brackets at all times, right? So again, if I wanted to be even worse in here and create another table that will have a space in here, then if I'll execute that code, it works perfectly fine. And right now, if I'm, for example, connected to my SQL Bootcamp database right now, if I wanted to, I didn't want to create this table in here. I just want to do it like this. I want to connect to SQL Bootcamp. Ta-da. And if I wanted, being connected to SQL Bootcamp, pull some information from some other table, I can select from, or select star from nothing.dbo.nothing. And of course, if you really wanted to take it a step further, you can see that it works perfectly fine. The command was completed successfully. I don't have any data in there, obviously. But again, if you wanted to create a schema that would be also named nothing, then by all means, go ahead and do so. And this way, your code would look like this. Select star from nothing, nothing, nothing. And yet, it would also work perfectly fine. So there will be a lot more in this BOFH series in here, so make sure you subscribe to this channel and stay on top of your game. Ta-dam, you know how to do that, and I will see you in the next episode of SQL Bootcamp. I'm Ludwig, see you on the other side.